Hello everyone. Today let us begin with landmark judgments for the year 2019-20. Let's start. The first case is the gender justice case. It is about the entry of the females in Sabarimala temple. So the history of the issue is that Sabarimala temple is a Hindu pilgrimage in Kerala, a shrine dedicated to Lord Ayyappa. Female devotees between the age of 10 to 50 years were denied the entry on the basis of some custom and usage that they are considered impure because of the menstruation cycle. So, a case was instituted in the year 2018, Indian Young Lawyer Association versus the State of Kerala. So, in this case, the Constitutional Bench of Supreme Court, led by Justice Deepak Mishra in September 2018, comprising of 5-judge Constitutional Bench, by a majority of 4:1 verdict, overruled the 27-year-old decision of the Kerala High Court that there is a restriction on the entry of women, and by overruling it, allowed girls and women of all ages to visit the Ayyappa temple at Sabarimala, by saying that every citizen under Article 25 of the Constitution has the right of entry into religious place. So, against this decision, a review petition was filed, namely Kantaru Rajivaru versus Indian Young Lawyers Association. So, along with this, a batch of 65 pleas in 2019 seeking the review of its earlier decision of 5-judge Constitutional Bench to allow the entry of women of all ages in Sabarimala came up in the form of review petitions before the Supreme Court. Now, the bench was headed by Chief Justice of India Ranjan Gogoi. So, this review petition, with the verdict of 3:2, the Supreme Court has referred these petitions to a 7-judge bench, a larger bench. Now, what would be the issues which would be decided by the 7-judge bench, Constitutional Bench, is that whether a ban on entry of women comes under the essential practice or it is an integral part of the religion. And also, some other issues would be considered, such as entry of women into mosques, practice of female genital mutilation in the Dawoodi Bohra community, and Parsi women married to non-Parsi are barred from holy fireplace of an Agyari. The next is Supreme Court strikes down Section 87 of Arbitration and Conciliation Act. So the writ petition by Hindustan Construction Company Limited versus Union of India was instituted, and the petitioner sought an interim relief which was obviously denied by the Apex Court. So a 3-judge bench of the Apex Court struck down Section 87 of Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996, which was inserted in year 2019 through 2019 Amendment Act. Section 87 provided that there would be an automatic stay on the enforcement of the arbitral award, or there would be an automatic stay on the execution of the arbitral award once the opposite party challenges it. Bench noted that about 6 years were spent on an average and the money got stuck for a long time. No decision is coming out. So before 2015 amendment, the then section 36 provided that the execution would be automatically stayed in case of pending petition. After 2015 amendment, the act substituted that unless a stay is expressly granted by the executing court, or the decretal or the awarding court, the execution cannot be stayed. However, it was applicable prospectively, means from now onwards, not on the previous cases. So Supreme Court, while striking section 87 of the Act, held that we are doing so, otherwise it would increase interference of the court, which would defeat the whole purpose of the Arbitration and Conciliation Act. The next is Vinubhai, Haribhai, Malaviya and others versus the state of Gujarat and others. In this, it is a landmark in itself that in CRPC, Criminal Procedure Code, now the magistrate can invoke his powers under section 153, clause 3, at the post-cognizance stage also. Earlier the position was that the magistrate could invoke section 153/3 CRPC only at a pre-cognizance stage. So it is a landmark judgment and important also. Manoharan versus State by Inspector of Police, Coimbatore. So a 10-year-old girl and her brother, 7-year-old brother, were kidnapped. Girl was raped and both were thrown in the canal, causing their death. High Court awarded death penalty to the convict. The case came to the Supreme Court and the majority said the death penalty. However, one judge believed that it is not a rarest of rare case and should be converted to life imprisonment. However, death penalty was upheld. NGOs which are funded by government comes under RTI. The case name is DAV College Trust and Management Society and others versus Director of Public Instruction and others. And the Supreme Court held that NGOs which are directly or indirectly financed by the government would be treated as they are under the RTI Act 2005. Now thus every citizen, as his or her right, could ask for information from them. Can ask information from them. So Supreme Court held that public authorities defined under section 2H of RTI Act 2005 would include institutions which are substantially financed by government, even the percentage is not 50% or more. Therefore, a citizen has a right to seek information about where the public money is being spent. Supreme Court says it will not dilute the provisions of SC/ST Act 1989. So Supreme Court made it clear that the Constitutional Bench has ruled that anticipatory bail could be granted where no prima facie case is made out. Now, what happened? That Supreme Court, while entertaining the petition challenging the validity of the 2018 amendments brought by the Parliament, which according to the pleas were arbitrarily decided to amend the law in such a manner that innocent cannot avail the anticipatory bail. Now, amendment of 2018 does not give any room to the provision of anticipatory bail for a person accused of atrocities against SC/ST, notwithstanding any court order, and also no preliminary inquiry would be required for arresting and registering the criminal case, and an arrest would be not requiring any approval from anyone. So it was held arbitrary. So the Supreme Court said that it would be looking into two aspects. First, the anticipatory bail provision and the provision of holding preliminary inquiry by police before arrest, as there cannot be an absolute bar on the either. Supreme Court doubts correctness of Aadhaar judgment, so refers it to a larger bench. Now, Supreme Court has referred two cases Finance Act 2017 being passed as money bill, and same with the Aadhaar judgment, it was also passed as a money bill. So the Supreme Court has now referred it to a larger bench of 7 judge. Issue in both the cases is that in the guise of money bill, only Lok Sabha has a say, circumventing the suggestions of Rajya Sabha in order to pass the bill. So 5-judge constitutional bench in majority verdict of 3:2 referred both the verdicts to a larger bench to deliberate the passage as money bill. Now the larger bench would look into the matter that whether these both judgments or passing of the Finance Act are money bill or not. So Supreme Court in Puttuswamy judgment was of the view that passage of Aadhaar Act as money bill does not fall within the ambit of Article 110 of Indian Constitution, which defines money bill. It makes it as unconstitutional and violative of basic structure. Supreme Court observed that it creates hurdles in the checks and balances between the two chambers in legislature, because in the guise of money bill only Lok Sabha has a say and Rajya Sabha is bypassed. So regarding Finance Act, center view was that it is money bill as it deals with the salaries and allowances of the member of tribunal from the Consolidated Fund of India. However, petition has a plea that money bill are those which exclusively contain provisions of imposition of taxes and appropriation of funds out of the Consolidated Fund of India, which can only be introduced in Lok Sabha, and Rajya Sabha can only suggest. ArcelorMittal's takeover Eicher Steel. The Supreme Court passed its order making available this judgment in 5 different languages including English and Hindi. It is a simple biggest realization from any asset to financial creditors. Judgment would help the takeovers of bad debt in the corporate world. It has been ruled that COC, Committee of Creditors, will have the final say in the resolution plans under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, and NCLT, National Company Law Tribunal, and NCLAT, National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, cannot interfere with the Committee of Creditors' commercial decisions. Committee of Creditors has all the rights to decide about the distribution of funds released from sale of the asset. And NCLT and NCLAT cannot make changes into the plans approved by Committee of Creditors. Thank you.